Welcome into another Jackson Sun West Tennessee High School Sports Podcast. I am Sun Sports Writer Brandon Shields here with the other Sun Sports Writer Michael Odom. And before we get into this, I have never personally thanked our studio audience for being as enthusiastic as they are. So I just want to give them a shout out. But we've done a podcast previewing the baseball district tournaments. Now we're going to talk about softball. And softball's been fun to watch this year because there's about 5-6 teams maybe that could be the best team, that have a legitimate argument at being the best team in rural West Tennessee. And any given there for a while, it looked like it was Lexington. Then they started kind of faltering, and a few other teams have kind of jumped up and said, hey, we think we're pretty good too. But most of them are all in District 14 AA, so we should probably spend 10 out of 15 minutes talking about District 14 AA. Can we do that?
I think some of our other fans of other teams would get a little upset. They want to hear about their team too, Brandon.
Okay.
And only 2 of those teams can make it out.
See, that's the thing, though. I mean, this district is so good, but only 2 teams are still going to be playing in 2 weeks when we get to region tournaments. In basketball, you get to lose 17 times in the postseason, and you still win the state championship. So are you kind of just planning to go hang out at this tournament all of next week? I don't know. We'll discuss that after this. I'm not sure what we're going to do. But yeah. I may let you go one day. But, 14 AA, for those who aren't aware of which district's which, that's one with Lexington and Southside and McNairy and Chester County and Bolivar and Fayette Ware in there too. But those first 4 have kind of been slugging it out pretty good, trying to figure out who's going to be the number 1 seed going into this tournament. And as of right now, that's still not determined.
All right. Well, our studio audience wants us to go over here and slug it out like those teams are, so just kidding.
That would be more like Florida State in the ACC in football in the 1990s. I'm Florida State and you're Wake Forest. But anyways, so as of this recording, McNairy and Chester County still have to play. McNairy looks like it's going to be the 4th seed behind Southside, Chester, and Lexington. But if Chester County beats McNairy, they could be number 1. It goes into a coin flip with Lexington. If they lose, they could be 2nd or 3rd. It goes to a coin flip with Southside to determine number 2. So go ahead and pick your winner of the tournament.
I'd rather not, because I don't think there's a clear-cut winner.
There's not a clear-cut.
I mean, there's a lot. You can look at McNairy, who probably has the best pitcher in the district.
Katie Turner.
You've got Lexington, who has 2 good arms. Briley has really been pitching well this year, Briley Brown. They have power hitters. You've got Southside, who's got their number 1 pitcher back. She's been out, most of the year. And they've got 2 arms with Kayla Beaver and Kelsey Turner. And then you have Chester County, who's, has 1 really good pitcher and 1 that can follow her up and kind of, does a good job in her role. So all 4 teams have pitching. So,
and obviously that is a big key to success in softball. If you have the good pitching, usually the defense is good behind them when they need to be, so you don't need to score a lot of runs to win. Fortunately for at least 3 of these teams, their offense has the capability to score a lot of runs too.
Right, yeah. I mean, they all have good hitters. Bailey Smith was our hitter of the year last year from Chester. Sam McDaniel was our player of the year 2 years ago. Caitlin Kelly can come up with big hits. I mean, you've got Josie Willingham at Southside, a UT commit. I mean, there's definitely a lot of good talent that's going to be on the field in this tournament.
Definitely. So, if we had to pick, one tournament that we were just going to stick with, to pay attention to, obviously that would be the one. But there are some other really good tournaments out there. This 13 AA tournament is going to be the other side of the district that 14 AA would match up with in region. This one's turned out to be a fun one to watch as well. Going in, my thinking was Dyersburg. This was going to be Dyersburg's district to kind of, I won't say dominate because we thought Milan was going to be good, but it's there have been some teams that have competed well this year that we didn't expect that out of.
Right. I mean, Crockett County's the 3 seed. Dyersburg's the 1. Milan's the 2. Crockett's the 3 playing well.
Mm-hmm.
O'Bine has been up and down. They've played well at times. They're the 4. The 5 is Westview, who's got some good players. I mean, it's another one. It's wide open. I don't know if it's the same level as 14AA, but I think it should be competitive and fun to watch.
Definitely should be competitive, and then the top 2 who come out, particularly if it is Milan and Dyersburg.
Which were the 2 that came out last year.
It'll be interesting to watch their matchups with the 2 that come out of 14AA because they definitely do have the ability to kind of jump up and shock some people that fans might not expect them to. 15AA.
I think Ripley is the favorite there. Covington's not far behind them. And then I think it's kind of a big drop-off after that. I think that Ripley and Covington have kind of cemented themselves as the 2 teams to beat in that district.
Yeah. And then they'll match up with 16AA in Memphis for the region tournament in a couple of weeks. Moving down to single A, the 2 teams that made it to state last year, Scottsdale and Huntington, a lot of people have been kind of looking at those 2 as being the 2 who have the best shot at getting back there this year. And for the most part, I think both teams have proven it. But first, looking at 13A with Huntington in it, McKenzie's been a formidable opponent at times. West Carroll started off as one of the hottest teams in rural West Tennessee. They've kind of faltered the last couple of weeks as they've been dealing with injuries. But 13A could be, while Huntington appears to be the favorite, Huntington hadn't always done well. I mean, they got beat 2-0 by West Carroll early in the season. So it's not like they can go ahead and etch their name into the region semifinals the next week.
Right. No, I mean, Huntington's definitely good. They're young at pitcher, and I think that's going to be a key for them is confidence in the circle. Those girls, the freshman and the sophomore, have to be able to go into the circle and have confidence because West Carroll's played them tough. Mackenzie's played up and down. Brewston's not bad. I mean, they've got some good hitters. So, I mean, yeah, this could be interesting. And with 13A, the key is later on this week, we'll have the quarters in single elimination, and then once we get to the Final Four, it'll go to a double elimination tournament.
Wow.
So only 4 teams make the double elimination.
Interesting. So getting the top 2 is a big advantage for another reason, not just getting to wait around before you have to play. 14 single A. I did a feature last week with Greenfield and how they've been having a better year than they usually have. They got a good junior class that have a lot of experience, more players than usual that have experience playing travel ball, so that's helped them out. They've kind of fallen back into the pack of 14A, the top of the pack, but still falling back to the pack. South Fulton is the perennial power in that district, but Greenfield, Union City Halls, and I think you throw Gibson County in there because they've been playing well lately. Depending on how hot all these teams are going into the district tournament, this may not be South Fulton. South Fulton may not be a guarantee to get back to the region like they usually are.
No, I think this is kind of a wide open one at the top, and there's some really good teams, and I think pitching is going to play a big part in this. When you've got a 9-team tournament, again, if you go to the losers bracket, you're gonna really have to fight out, and use a lot of your arm.
Mm-hmm. District 15A. Scotts Hill's going through the district undefeated. So they've kind of got the top seed, but there's been a little bit of battling underneath them as teams have been jockeying for position. Riverside and Jackson Christian have been the 2 main ones going for that 2 and 3 seed. But TCA is, I think, the 5 seed. They got wins over both of those teams. and then Adamsville's in there. Middleton got their first district win in a few years with a win over Madison a couple of weeks ago. So you don't know what kind of momentum that could start for them going in. Obviously, Scottsdale is the favorite, but you can't count particularly those other 4 teams out just yet.
Right, that's another one where they play the single elimination quarters and then they go to a 4-team double elimination. So Scottsdale's already into the double elimination, and then you'll have the 3 games. Obviously, Riverside hosting, Jackson Christian will host, and then I guess Adamsville if TCA is definitely the 5.
I think I could be. Forgive me if I'm wrong for anybody that's listening, but just from the records I was looking at, it looked like Adamsville's going to be the 4, TCA the 5.
So, TCA is going to go down to Adamsville. That's been a battle in some years, and there's a lot on the line in that one, trying to make the double elimination tournament.
Definitely. Then in region tournament, they'll match up with Region 16 or District 16A down in Memphis. Hardin County in 13 AAA, they've kind of had a up and down year as they've dealt with injuries, particularly at the pitcher position. So they'll be trying to fight with the likes of Brighton and Dyer County and Munford. All 3 of those have recent history of being among the best on this end of the state in AAA. So that'll be a tough one for them. Division 2A, USJ is hosting on Thursday the first round of their region tournament as they're the number 2 seed behind Tipton Rosemark out of their district. And while USJ may not look like they have as much talent as they have in past years, they're still kind of really competitive just because they're in a tough district. They're one of the better teams in that tough district. This district typically sends 2, 3, if not 4 teams all the way to the state tournament. So another shot at something like that happening again this year. Right.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Since we got a few minutes here.
We got 2, so don't put me on too big of a spot.
I'm going to give you a spot, not just any spot, but my spot.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
What 2 single A teams from West Tennessee make it to Murfreesboro?
A couple of weeks ago, I would have definitely said Scottsdale. And I think they're still playing well without Chelsea Gore since she got hurt. And she's out for the season. I'll stick with them. And I'll say South Fulton as the other one.
Over Huntington? You heard that, Philly fans. When you make it to state, make sure to walk up to Brandon and say, you doubted us.
Oh, I'm sure a certain Huntington fan will be sure to do that. Shane Lowry.
I can think of another. Brian Jones.
Yeah, I'll get Facebook messages from Brian Jones.
So, what about Double A? Did 2 teams from 14 Double A make it all the way to state?
I think so. If you force me to put money on it, I would put money on the 2 that come out of 14 Double A sweep and 13 Double A in the region semifinals. And then I think that they beat whoever comes out of the other one in Region 8. So, yeah. And I'll go ahead and pick Lexington, Chester County to be the 2 to come out of 14 AA. So, he already put me on the spot. I probably got myself in trouble, so we'll go ahead and cut it off there. Thanks for listening. Good luck to your teams. See ya.